So the problem that we are going to solve is this maximum subarray. Now this is a very common problem, and it is a nice problem if you want to understand the fundamentals of how to approach a dynamic programming problem, and I will try to explain you how to think. Okay, now I'll just show you the code in the beginning if you don't want to go through all that process. But yeah, I've got two codes here. Okay, the standard way, this gives you, this is easier to understand, but it is not so good because you can see you are here, your runtime beats 7% of Java submissions. Okay, so it's not so good. Okay, now this one I came up with myself. Okay, without any help. So yeah, and this beats 100% of Java submissions. So this is a good one, but this is not a standard one. I just devised it myself. So I'll show you this later. Let's go and see the standard code first. Okay, now the standard code has two variations. This is the small one, this is the easier to understand one. Okay, now what I need to do, I can't run it because I'm currently having some network issues. So I would like to run it and show it to you, but it's not working. Okay, so yeah, just forget it. So what the problem says here, what is the see, the important term here is contiguous subarray, and we need to find the contiguous subarray with the maximum sum. Okay, that's all that's in the question, and we need to find it in big O, and we can find it in big O, not a difficult thing to do, but even big O can just because the solution is big O doesn't mean that it will have a less time running time. Okay, so let's see how it works. So the problem here is obviously because of the negative numbers, because if there were no negative numbers we would just have to find sum of the array and we would be good to go, but we have got negative numbers and that creates problem. Like if we start from -2, then if we include 1 the sum will be -1. If we include -3 the sum would be -4, and this sum would become 0. Okay, so sum becomes 0, so there's no point of including starting from here and ending at here or any other point. So because if it is 0, then any value added to it, this part does not contribute to it. Okay, so negative numbers do make the thing trickier, and because we do not have a starting point or an ending point, if we go by the standard way we'll end up with a big O n square solution. Okay, a nested loop, and we'll have to consider all the starting indices. Like this can be starting index, this can be starting index, so any even the last element can be the starting index, and then we'll have to consider all the ending index for all the starting indices. So that would be not a good solution, and so the good solution here is this one. So let's see how we came up with this good solution. So for that I am going to need an array to show this to you, and then I'll need something to draw. Okay, so now the gray, this area that you see, this is the desired solution that we want. Now how do we come up with this solution? So let's assume that we have got only one element here. Okay, or in other words, let's assume that we want to end our subarray at the first index or index 0. This is the index 0, so we want to end it here. So what would be the sum, the maximum sum at, if this were the ending index, it would be obviously -1, right? So if we want to end at the second index, what would be the maximum sum? So maximum sum, there are two ways to get, there are two sum possibles. Okay, the first is we include this -1 and this 2, and that would be a sum of that would be a sum of 1. Okay, this would if we add this 2 we'll get 1. but if we take only this index, this 2 only, and not the first, because this is the ending index, we have only fixed the ending index. The starting index can be any index. Okay, so if we take only this element, we get a sum of 2. This here is 1, though it looks like 2. I wanted to write 1, so -1, so that will not be a problem. So this we get here 2. Okay, now when we take the third element as the ending index, then the maximum possible are, again we have got two options. Either we can take the previous maximum sum, that is 2, up to this point. Up to this point it is 2, right? Previous maximum sum, and then add the current value, that would be 6. Or we can take only the current value, that is this one. So if we add, we get a bigger number, and we want the bigger number. So here the maximum possible sum of sub arrays when this element is taken as the end point is 6. Okay, similarly this will be 3, because obviously ending at -3 and starting at -3 will give us a -3, which is not a good number, but which is smaller. And the bigger number is obviously 6 plus -3, that is equal to 3, is greater than -3. So we will add the previous sum. Okay, so this is included, this is included, even this is included. Now 5. So will this be included? Obviously 5 plus 3 is equal to 8, so this will be included. Then 2, 8 plus 2, that is equal to 10, again greater than 8, so this will be included. Then 10 minus 5, that is not -5, that is just 5. Okay, it's 5. And then 5 plus 2, this is 7. So we have an array of all the sums. This is an array of the sums if that particular index were the last index. Okay, so this is, and this array is represented as sum ARR in the program sum array. Okay, so this is the sum array. Now let's see the program, and for that I need to close this. Yeah, so this is the program. Okay, so this int sum, this will store the answer, and we initialize it with the first element obviously, and the sum array will store the sums at all indexes ending the sum of the sub arrays that end at that particular index. Okay, so I hope you get what I am trying to say, because I did draw diagrams and all. So yeah, then we have got this sum array is also in the first element is initialized with nums 0. Now obviously you know why we did this, because obviously the up to the first element the only possible sum is the first element, and hence the sum at 0 will be equal to nums at 0. Nums here is the input. Okay, so up to the first element the first element is the only possible sum, so that will be here taken here. And now this program here only contains the method that we are supposed to write. And okay, so there is a problem with LeetCode, I suppose. If I can connect to it, I'll show you. But so we have seen the question, we don't need it anyhow, so that's here. Now so once we have got this array, what we are going to do, we are going to just calculate this this sum array that I just created here, this blue array. So this blue array is a sum array, and we are going to create this using this for loop. Okay, so what happens here, it's just finding the max. So in other terms it can be written as sum array I is equal to math.max. Now why don't I use math.max, because that is not good if you want to save time. So I prefer using ternary operator, and if you have any confusion regarding ternary operator, then I did create a video on that, and this is -1, sorry, and that is the end of the line. So these line number 11 and 12, they are exactly the same, and I don't know why I can't zoom in. Oh yeah, I can zoom in. So let me close this thing here. I hope you can see the code now, or it has become too big. Okay, I think this is the optimal size. So we are just finding, what are we finding? The maximum, whether the element, the ending element alone, if it is larger than the ending element added to the previous elements, the sum of the previous subarray, then we will take the ending element. Else we'll take the sum of the ending element plus the sum of the subarray that comes before it. Okay, so that is what I mean to say is, like, if our array was starting we don't need 3, so our array is starting at -1, right? But we don't take -1 because taking -1 is only going to reduce the sum. So what we do, we start from this position 2, right? So that's exactly what we are doing here. So if the sum at particular index is greater than the sum plus this, so sum at this particular index is 2 is greater than this 2 plus the previous sum is the previous element because there is only one element. So 2 plus -1 is is smaller than 2, so we don't take the previous part, we take the maximum, that is this 2 here. So that's what happening here. Now let's remove this part, if you have understood it, because math.max is slow and we want our program to be fast. So that's exactly what's happening in this ternary operator. I hope you get it. It's simple. Now once we have our sum array, what we need to do is we need to just iterate through the sum array, and this is the for each loop. That if you don't know, it's nothing, it's just iterating through the sum array, and then each element is stored in I, and then if we compare, if I is greater than maxsum is the first element initialized with the first element, then okay, I think I did make a mistake. It is maxsum, so I can't run it, but I have run it and it was working properly. That's how I got the result. Did I see here? This is the result of this code here. So I will run it if I get connected to. Okay, that's good. So if I get connected to LeetCode, I'll run it again to show it to you. But it's nothing worth running. It's quite simple. So I greater than maxsum is equal to I. So that's simple. We are just finding the maximum value in the sum array that we just saw. So find the maximum value, it's easy, anyone can do that, and then return the maximum. Okay, so this is the first part. Now if we slightly modify it, we get a smaller program which has a better time complexity and also better space complexity. Okay, because we do not need the second loop, or we do not need the sum array itself. What we are doing is we are using this nums array and we are storing the sum in nums array itself, because once we have crossed a particular index, we won't need the value. The only thing we need from the previous part of the array is the maximum sum up to that point. Okay, so what we are doing, instead of storing it in like here we stored it this in sum array, here we are just storing it directly in the nums array itself. Okay, nums array is equal, and this part is the same as previous, just replacing nums with sum array. Nums is the input array here, if you don't know. So yeah, we are using the same array, and thus it saves us time and space both. And this line here is for debugging, so let's remove this. And then if nums I is greater than maxsum, okay, and so I think you get it, because it's just the same thing, just a bit shorter. Now in a book that I was reading about competitive programming, this solution was said to be the optimal solution, but as we have seen, this is not the optimal solution, because we land somewhere here. Only 7% of Java submissions are worse than our program. Okay, the others are better, much better. So but we got ourselves the best solution. 100% of Java submissions. Yeah, I do feel proud. So yeah, let's get to the point. So this is the solution. Now what I am doing here, I'm here we take the problem, we see it differently. Okay, now let's hope that the problem has been resolved by now. It is a long video, 15 minutes, and I don't know what's wrong with this server, or if it is the problem lies with my networks. Okay, we don't need to worry about that. We have got an example here. Okay, so now assuming that this, let me clean it. So assuming that we have a bigger array, let's say we have some more elements, and let's say this is also a negative number, -2, -3, -1, and then again -1, and something like that. Okay, so what happens is that unless and until all the elements in the array are negative numbers, this part of the array, the leading negative numbers, is actually useless for us. So why don't we just skip it and start from the real possible solution? Okay, because obviously adding a negative number is only going to reduce the answer, but we can't just ignore it, because the situation might be that we only have negative numbers in the arrays. So what we do is we go through them, we don't ignore them, we take the largest possible largest available negative number, and that here is -1. Okay, so once we get -1, we store this -1 and again -1, so they are the same, nothing changes. So we go through all the leading negative numbers. Okay, only the leading, the between and the end negative numbers, we are not touching them now. So once we have gone through this, we reach this position, and then here, from here, what we see, we use two variables, or rather I used two variables. One is p sum and another is sum. Now what does p stand for? Actually I intended to use it for positive sums, but it does store a negative sum also. In case all elements are negative, only then p sum will store negative sum. Okay, so now what happens is that the sum proceeds in a similar manner. It keeps on adding all the numbers. Okay, now if the number I'll show you the code, and you'll have to, sorry, yeah. So this we take one sum for getting sum at every instant. Okay, this is not the solution, the answer is the p sum here. And I, because we need an index to be global, not global, I mean inside the function, it should not be inside any while loop, because that would create problems. Okay, so now this while loop, what is the use of this while loop? So this while loop is used to skip all the leading negative numbers. Again I say leading negative numbers only. We are skipping all the negative number that appear in front, because they are useless, but we also keep track of the largest negative number that we find, and we store it in sum. Okay, here, because just in case if all the numbers are negative, we will need it. And if we store it and we keep increasing I. Okay, and if at any particular instant the I becomes equal to num length, that means that we have already crossed the entire array, and I has become one larger than the last index. Num's length is larger than the last index, one value. So if we have completed the entire array in this while loop designed for negative numbers, that means that we have only negative numbers. In that case, the solution p sum is equal to sum. Okay, we assign the answer to the solution, because p sum is the value that will be returned. Okay, now once that happens, we assign it, we break it. Or I can just write return p sum here. That would be one line instead of two lines. Return sum. So yeah, you can do that. It will just reduce a couple of lines. but doesn't change much. Okay, so that's about the leading negative numbers. Now once we get to the rest of the program, rest of the array actually, so what we are doing is this I will now point at this I here. Where is I? Yeah. So this I was incrementing, and it will lead us to the first non-zero element in the start of the for loop. It will point to the first non-zero element. Okay, now what happens is that in case adding this results in a number less than 0, we don't need to consider that addition. Now what I mean is, I again need that example here, but lead code, so we'll have to make our own example because lead code is not working. So let's assume this -3 was actually why doesn't it clear itself? So if this -3 was -8 actually, then what would happen? So all our effort here, 4 plus 2, that would be 6, -8 here, it would be, this is not -8, this is -8. In that case the sum here would be -2, right? And then this 5 plus -2 would be 3. So if any sane person would say that there's no point of taking the any element beyond this index, okay, or on the left of this index, because the maximum sum that you get here is -2. It is a negative number, and negative number if added to any value will only decrease the sum, and we want the maximum sum. So if the sum, that is as soon as we add this 4 plus 2 6, and we get here a -8, so adding 6 plus -8 is equal to -2. So as soon as we get a number like this -2, we know one thing for sure, that the elements that come on left of this point, they will not be considered in the sub array, because it is a negative number. And okay, see, if we do not have any array beyond this point, okay, if this was the last index, then what would happen? There's no 5 2 minus 5 2. Okay, this is just a -8 here. So what would happen is that our sum up to this point was 6. Actually, I should not write sum with the same color. So our sum up to this point was 6. Okay, and here our sum was -2. This is the sum, and -8 is the actual value. Okay, so here we see that obviously we want the maximum sum, so we'll choose what? We'll choose this we'll choose 6. Okay, so there's no point going here. So if the sum becomes sum of the element plus the previous element becomes less than 0, then obviously there's no point considering that element as the ending element. That's not possible, right? So in that case our solution will be 6. Okay, but that's not the case here. Here the case is -3, and that will not result in a number smaller than 0. So we keep on going, and we get a 10 here, I suppose. 4, so this is 3, and 3 plus 5 8 9 10. Yeah, we get a sum of 10 here. Okay, now 10 minus 5, this value will be reduced. But that doesn't mean that we get a negative number and we stop. No, because if there were a 20 here, the value would increase, and so we would have to take it, right? So how do we tackle that? So for that I need to close it and open. Sorry, yeah, now open this. So what happens is that if the sum plus nums I is less than 0, right? So sum is the sum up to that particular point. Like if we are at index 0 at index 3, then sum is the sum up to index 2, right? Plus the element at index 3. If that is less than 0, then we are not considering that element as the end point. We can't consider that index as the ending index, and hence we put the sum equal to 0 for that index. Okay, it's for that index, but we don't have to store for each index, because again we have got this p sum. It's just like the max sum. Okay, So if it is not less than 0, what we do is we add the number to the sum. Okay, so if adding the number doesn't result in a number less than 0, then we add the number to the sum. Okay, and if the sum is greater than p sum, so consider p sum as the max sum. So if the new sum becomes greater than the max sum, then max sum or p sum here would become that new sum. Okay, and if it is not less than if it is not greater than the max sum, the current sum, then just ignore it and the loop will continue. So this is quite simple. If you see it, just ignore all the negative numbers, starting negative numbers, and then just in case you get an element which if considered the last index will result in a negative number as the sum, then we just don't consider that number as the ending element. That is, here if this were a -8, then we don't consider this element as the ending element. Okay, we are only finding the ending index, don't forget that. Okay, so that will give us p sum, and then we return p sum, and that is the solution of the program, and this is the 100% solution here. So I don't think it will still work. They were having a server problem the whole night. Was yeah, so that's all for this video, and I hope I was able to make this problem clear to you. So as you can see, my internet is not the problem, the LeetCode site has a problem. So in case any of this, no, not working. So in case any of the solution doesn't work, it will work because I've checked it multiple times. I did not want to create a fool out of myself. So in case it doesn't work, then I just removed this boundary case from these two programs. That's the only change I made after checking it, and I don't think that would create a problem. So I think the rest is good. This program is just the one that I copied from there. So that's all for this video.